Hi there, I'm Matthew McConaughey, and you're listening to the Court Case Podcast. All right.
Hello and welcome to the Court Case Podcast with me, your host, James Courts.
And your co-host, Sweet Tea. Here on Court Case, we put our verdicts on the controversial,
The important,
and the downright strange.
So join us in the courtroom for a laugh, a debate, and to learn something interesting.
Court is now in session.
Hey guys, it's great to have you back listening to the Court Case Podcast. How are you doing, T?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great. We're well into February now. It's past Valentine's Day. Might even be going into March when this episode comes out.
It will be coming. it will be March when this comes out.
Yeah, so bloody hell, we are well into 2022 now. It's mad how quick it's going.
Yeah, it's flown by.
And
it's quite scary.
I know you and me have got some exciting things coming up. You got new job.
Yep,
coming up.
New career.
I
say career because it's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
That's what they all say, isn't
yeah.
it? And hopefully moving out at some point soon.
Absolutely.
Within the next few months, which is cool. We saw something awesome recently. We went and saw the Book of Mormon, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has watched it, but if you haven't, watch it.
It is the 14th longest running Broadway play.
It's fantastic. I didn't go in there with any expectations. I've had a couple of people say it was good, but I didn't really know what to expect at all. And it was hilarious. There was great music and dancing. Even their accents for because there's a lot of cultural
Ugandan people in it.
Yeah, but there was even other cultures, and all of their accents were amazing. They're so talented. It was really, really good.
And the songs were so catchy. My mum has never would see it because it's by the same people that do South Park, so she's sort of got preconceived notions.
It's funny though.
But it's so funny.
I do get so confused to how they can get away with the jokes that they do make though, because especially in 2022, people hate kind of free speech nowadays. If you say something and someone doesn't like it, you are getting dragged through the hay. A bit like Molly May at the moment.
Yeah.
That's still ongoing. Yeah, I mean, so I'm very surprised they get away with those kind of things. But I think because obviously, like you said, it's been running for a long time, it's kind of one of those things now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing, actually, now you bring it up. How do you feel about Molly May's Pretty Little Thing stuff? And there was a protest, wasn't there, recently?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I've seen so many different views. There's people being well, she's not responsible for the staff being paid that create the garments and not a lot of money. No, she's not necessarily responsible for it, but if she's supporting the company that are doing that to other people, then that's also not a good look,
Yeah, if she's the creative director, so surely she could have some say.
I think she was only the creative director of that fashion thing.
So just
she's not of
this,
Pretty Little Thing.
Season or line, not for the company in general.
Not for the. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway,
I see.
Yeah, I do. The protests are fair game
because 100%.
They're not doing any. I mean, protesting it's one of those tricky things. Some people don't protest very well or whatever, but by the sounds of it, that protest was fine and they were fighting for a good cause.
Yeah.
Don't think anything's going to get done about it.
No. This is not the end of fast fashion.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what Pretty Little Thing is, isn't it? It's fast fashion.
So you're saying it's not the end of fast fashion?
Yeah, I'm saying this protest isn't going to stop it. It's not the end of fast fashion.
I saw someone on TikTok saying about if you want to buy something called Pretty Little Thing or ASOS or anywhere, to look on Depop or Vintage first, and see if someone's selling the garment that's still in fairly good condition, and buy it off there instead, because one, it's cheaper, and two, you're not supporting that app directly, that website directly.
Yep, and three, you can also tell the longevity of the product, because if someone's already had it and it's still in really good condition, then it's not something like fucking jeans that I buy from Primark that get ripped in about 2 months.
And also you're helping out somebody else as well, because oh my god, I love Depop. When someone buys my stuff on Depop, I get so excited. I'm yes, that's a bit of money. It could literally be a £5 and I'm just I can go and buy a meal deal now.
Yeah. Meal deal and then some.
Yeah. Have a bit of pennies.
today's episode, guys, obviously we got some... Last week we didn't have any Courting with James because we had Max Berry on giving us some conspiracy theories. So we've made sure to have a Courting with James segment towards the end of the show today. But me and T wanted to get into some good old-fashioned debate. So we found a list of some age-old and current topics that we're going to go through and we're going to debate. And we might be on the same side. We might completely disagree.
This could be the end of court case.
Yeah, I know, if it gets too heated. But the first one that I wanted to go over, the first debate, is one that you put on the story.
Yeah, I did.
To see what our listeners thought. And the question was, for this first one, is technology making us dumber or smarter?
Initially, I did not have an opinion on this because I can see the argument for both. I can see obviously some technology and some like jobs within technology are obviously making people smarter. Like we learn a lot of things on being on technology, like electric cars, for example. You know, they're better for the environment.
100%.
You know, on social media, like even on TikTok, like even though TikTok is very bad, you can learn some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
And people have gotten famous, not necessarily for good reasons, but like sometimes that's someone's form of income. So I guess you can argue that I don't know, would that make them smarter? Would that make them dumber? It's really tricky.
This reminds me of that episode of Sunny when Dee and Dennis make the podcast and they're literally asking this question. They're like, technology, it's everywhere. But my personal opinion is that it is in a lot of ways making us dumber. But not just...
I guess dumber because we're not seeing like the real world anymore and we are all living behind a screen. Because like even when you go on holiday, the first thing people want to do is post about it.
Yeah.
As soon as you get an achievement, the first thing people will do is post about it.
Yep.
It's like constantly seeking for validation of other people.
But also, I think when you're having this debate, you've got to differentiate between the words dumber and productive. Because it might not necessarily making us dumber, but it is making us less productive.
Yeah, true.
Because stuff that we could accomplish by having to go out and do something, we now can just do on our phones. And there's evenings now where people, for example, you and me are both guilty of this, where there's an evening where we could be doing something constructive and we're like a hobby, reading something, and we're just sat on TikTok on our phones.
And it will get to like 10 o'clock. I'm a little bit of a night owl, so when it gets to like 10 o'clock, that's normally like my get up and go for some God knows what reason. Yeah, so I'm like rushing around, like tidying the house and like doing this and doing that. And James just like, whoa, just like get into bed and chill out. And I'm just like, well, no, we've got to get stuff done. We haven't done stuff all day because we haven't been productive. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, well, we'll try it tomorrow. I know we won't do it tomorrow because the same thing will happen, the same cycle. But in the evening is when I normally get most of my stuff done.
See, I'm really productive during the day, and I make sure that I'm productive during the day, and then I look forward to the evening because I'm like, this is the bit where I chill out.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so strange that we are completely different. I mean, I don't like being a night owl at all because it's not ideal. It's not a great way to live because you've got the whole fucking light time. Not daytime to do stuff. Light time when it's light out, isn't it? When you want to do things.
But yeah, so I think there is an argument to be made that maybe it's not necessarily making us dumber, but it is definitely making us less productive.
Yeah, I mean, I can see... I don't know, because also, like, I look at my sister, and she obviously has... she's, like, 11, and she now has access to TikTok, and I didn't have access to TikTok when I was 11. She's obviously learned stuff of TikTok, and I wouldn't necessarily make her smarter for it, but she knows more things about certain stuff than I would have done at 11.
Right.
Like... that people have, you know, spoken about on TikTok that someone's come across, like, or her friends have seen on TikTok and is spoken about it. Like, I do feel like as generations have gone on, people are like getting older and like smarter, quicker. Younger.
They're getting smarter quicker.
Yeah, quicker, like so much quicker. Like, because I've got 3 younger sisters, so I've seen the whole progression in that. So it is really interesting. So I have some sort of argument to be like, is social media and technology... I don't know. It's a really tough one.
What did the listeners say on the poll?
Let me have a look.
Cool. So my brother just came in there and we stopped, but we asked him the question and he said, what was it he said? He thinks...
Said a bit of both, really.
A bit of both, but you think people have gotten less tolerant and less patient because you can get things at just a click. Yeah,
patience, definitely a good point, but he didn't agree with your point about less productive because of... some technology can make things more productive due to it being a quicker situation.
It really is a debate.
It really is a debate because there is definitely arguments for both. It's very, very tricky. But anyway, the percentage from our audience on Instagram.
Yep.
So we've got 86% of people think that technology is making people dumber.
Okay.
Leaving 14% thinking smarter.
So I was right. Well, no,
well,
I was in the majority.
Yeah, you're in the majority.
And also, this actually reminded me of, we've been watching that Pam and Tommy show.
Yeah.
How mad it's set in 1995, 1996.
Yeah.
How mad it is when like Seth Rogen's character is showing Nick Offerman
like
how to use a computer, and like what a website is and stuff like that. It's just mental how things have changed in like 20 years.
So there we go. That makes technology dumber because of the whole situation. But then there's obviously other situations that's like very, very smart. Like online fucking shopping, that's smart. That's technology. That's smart. Yeah. Like, back in the days, people probably would have died for that kind of service, but they had to go out in all sorts of conditions to go and get. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely arguments for both, and I'm definitely on the fence.
Well, let's go on to some more debating topics. Okay.
Moving on.
So, here's one that I'm going to start off with. I'm going to start off with quite a deep one. Okay.
Ooh.
Drug use should be treated as a mental health issue rather than a criminal offence.
Well, I've been watching Euphoria, right?
Oh, yes.
That's very like that. Like the 17-year-old girl having a drug problem goes into rehab. She doesn't get punished. She's obviously getting rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And I do think it definitely is like, because addiction is definitely a mental illness. Like you can be addicted to anything. Like some people are addicted to sex, love, drugs, alcohol, like anything, honestly. Gambling. Do you know what I mean? So addiction is definitely a massive mental health problem that it should be treated, not punished. And then, or even treated first, punished later kind of thing. But that should definitely be the forefront.
This is one we're going to agree on. I think they should change.
You will agree with me.
Yeah, I think they should change the laws in terms of drugs. I think, for example, if you catch someone just using the drugs themselves, then I think that is something that is should be treated, should be punished.
Yeah.
If you catch someone convincing or pressuring someone else to use drugs,
100% punished.
That should still be punished. And also, if you catch someone on drugs harming someone else, that should still be punished, or committing some sort of other crime. Yeah. But if you've got someone that their only crime is using these drugs on themselves, it's at the end of the day their body, their choice. They shouldn't be punished. They should be treated.
It should help,
for it.
100%.
Yeah, and that is one that I would be very interested to hear what our listeners think of that, to be honest.
Maybe we'll do another poll on the story.
I think we should. Maybe after the episode comes out, we'll poll each of these and see what people think.
Yeah, 100%.
I think is a good idea. Here's another one. Violent video games should be banned.
See, look, I don't think violent video games should be banned. I see why some people might think that. But what I had thought about is how, like, there is 12-year-olds playing, like, 18-year-old games.
Right.
That doesn't sit right with me. And I know how it happens. They get hold of it from their older brother, or their parents don't really care and they just buy it for them, that kind of thing. I think, genuinely, when you buy a game like that, because obviously someone over the age of 18 will buy it for someone younger. I think when you come on to actually logging onto the game, there should be some sort of ID thing, because you just input your age nowadays and you can lie. Like, I could say that I'm 42 on Sims and they won't even question it. Right. But if you go onto this game that's an 18, you need some sort of, I don't know what, maybe they should invent a game pass or something that you can like scan onto your PlayStation, where you physically can't play a game below the age rating.
But what
something
if
like that.
The parents just scan it for the kids? Because what if the parents' children, if they have permission, if they say, well, I'm fine with my kid playing an 18 game, well, surely that's right.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's another thing. Like, you can try as hard as you can to fuse the situation and to stop kids playing a game under their age rating, hence the age rating is there. But if the parents are still going to try and jump loopholes and let them play it, then that's on the parents. It's their kids, their choice.
In your eyes, is there a difference between violent movies and violent video games?
I think there is a difference. Okay. Because with violent movies, that's a storyline that's planned out. There's a rating on there and it's a warning that situation is going to occur.
Fair.
With video games, it's kind of a free-for-all. Like, you can kill someone, you can run over the car, you can commit this crime. Like, it's your choice. Normally you're playing it and you're committing those things.
Yeah.
Because if you think about when you're in school, you learn about John Venable's situation.
Yes, disgusting.
And people argued that they've got all those violent ideas from video games.
Yes, I disagree with all of that, which is good because this is a debate.
Okay.
I don't think violent video games should be banned. I hate it when politicians and people use violent video games after shootings as a scapegoat and say,
I'm not using it. I'm not saying it's a scapegoat.
I think, and there's a lot of evidence that I don't have in front of me, so please you can have a go at me if you want, but I know that there is evidence out there that violent video games and games where you do shoot people is actually therapeutic in a lot of ways, and people then don't do those actions.
I can see that because,
outside.
After a bad day, I want to get onto Fortnite and shoot a couple of sods.
Yes.
I get that. But I'm 20 years old. I can do that.
Yes. In regards to the age thing, I get what you're saying about making a game pass or something like that, but I'm in the corner of if the adult has said that it's okay, then that's...
But there's some cases like where the adults don't know, where they have, their older brothers let them go on the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tricky one. I just think it does bother me though, like age ratings and stuff. Maybe because like I wasn't a rebel kid. Like, I never did anything that wasn't... I never snuck into a nightclub underage. I drunk underage, but that was at like a party.
Everyone does that.
Yeah, everyone does that. I never went to a movie and got into a movie that wasn't within my age rating. So so for me, my mind's just like, well, rules are there. Like, the ratings are there for a reason. Yeah.
Also, I think that there isn't a difference per se between violent video games and violent movies. I think it's both.
You don't think there is?
No,
really?
I think it's both a visual medium. There are Tarantino films that are way more violent than even some of the most violent video games. If you're a lot of video games now, particularly some of the violent ones like Red Dead Redemption, do have a story. They do have your action. For example, yeah, you're being really violent, but in that game, your actions have consequences. If you shoot up a whole town, you get wanted, you get a thing on your head, to the point where I played through Red Dead Redemption, and it got to a point where I didn't want to do any of those things because I wanted the main character, Arthur Morgan, to be an honourable, good person by the end of it. So
what I find interesting is how some age ratings don't match, though. Like, for example, Jurassic World, why is that a 16? That game, Jurassic World Evolution game that we play on the PlayStation. Why is that a 16?
It normally says it on the thing. Let me have a look quick.
Because I'm really intrigued, because that shouldn't be a 16. Like, there's no violence or swearing or anything like that.
There is violence because the dinosaurs eat people and each other. So, it's a 16.
Well, obviously, but like that doesn't happen for a while.
It's 16 because of violence. That's the only reason.
Oh, okay.
It says there.
Well, what rating is the Jurassic Park films?
They vary. The thing is that age ratings are different than films.
Right.
So there's 18s, 16s, and then there's like the equivalent of PG. The Jurassic World films are normally like 12As.
Yeah, that's what I thought that kind of video game would be, but I don't know.
You don't get 12As in video games. You get like 13s and 16s, I think.
Well, then that's the same, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So you don't agree with me that because you're influencing the violence on...
No, because in some respects, for example, if I go back to Red Dead, because
but
it's
that's
my
your experience. That's not everyone's experience.
No, that is correct. But also, like, for example, in a movie, the violence is going to happen whether I keep watching it, if I keep watching it. Whereas in a video game, there's a chance that the violence might not happen. But
something like GTA or COD, where the whole game is based on violence and committing crimes,
that's a good point.
It's very different.
Yeah, that is a good point. That's a good point. I think we're at a stalemate here.
Because, I think, for example, if a 12-year-old's playing GTA or Call of Duty, where their mission is to kill people and commit a crime, but then I would much rather them stick on a 16 rated, a little less violent film, because I don't know.
Yeah,
they're not inflicting it as much, and it's not because it's not really thought about as much if you're watching it. I don't know. It's tricky.
Yeah, it is a tricky one. I'm going to move on to another debate. I would be interested in what our listeners thought. Here's one that I think might be a bit more cut and dry. Should period products be free?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I feel like we'll agree on this one. Scotland gives out free sanitary products to women. I don't know how it works. I don't know if there's like a little token they get like a set amount a month or something like that. I have no idea. But we were talking about this the other day. I said how tampons and pads should be free for everyone. Also, how great would it be if condoms were free?
Condoms are free as well. The thing that I always get confused as, and I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm a man that believes that women's sanitary products should be free and should be available to all women, is that I don't understand why toilet paper never comes up in this discussion.
Yeah, true.
Because it's obviously women's sanitary products are to get rid of waste that a woman produces. And we all produce shit. So why is toilet paper never in the discussion of should it be free?
Also then, if toilet paper's in the discussion, nappies should be in the discussion.
Nappies is...
Because some women really struggle, especially some single mothers that, are struggling to pay...
Very good point.
...for baby food. If they could know that they can get a pouch of nappies for free, then that's...
I had never even thought of that, but that's obviously because I've not had a baby. But that's right.
So nappies, toilet paper... sanitary products and condoms. And the reason I say condoms isn't even for the pleasure side of things, obviously, but is for
STDs, safety,
and also population control. And the government are paying tax. Is it tax? I don't really know how it works. Like they give money for every kid that they have, every kid that you have.
No,
or do they not do that anymore?
That's in Japan.
No, they do that. They did do that here. The government gave money. They give out money, don't they?
Oh, do you mean like child benefits?
Yeah, like child benefits.
Yeah, if you don't have a job, you can't afford. Yeah, you can get child benefits.
Yeah.
So going by your logic, it probably would be cheaper on the government to give away condoms for free because then if there's less babies, they won't be giving as many benefits away.
But then that's us assuming that condoms is the reason people are having kids. Not being able to afford condoms. Like maybe these people actually generally do want kids. That's implying that they're all accidents. They're not all accidents.
Yeah. But access to birth control means it would also help at least a portion of that.
Same as women's control pills, they should be free.
Yes.
Birth control pills, because you have to pay for those.
Yes.
I think you don't pay for them if you're like under the age of 18 and you're in education, and then after that you have to pay for them yourself.
Also, if you're at uni or college, you can get access to free condoms.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't if you're not, which is annoying. But yeah, I completely agree.
I think all of those things, definitely.
Women's sanitary products should 100% be free, but I just think any sort of waste product, if you don't have access to it, it should be a human right. It should be something... Homeless people on the street, homeless women should have access to sanitary products. Homeless people should have access to things like toilet paper and stuff. And I think so. And I think necessities like nappies, like toilet paper should be put into this discussion.
No, I agree. 100%. Yeah, no, I think strongly on that one. I don't think it will ever happen. It's really good though that Scotland has made that first move to do it.
Yes.
And I was actually thinking it happened like last year, I think it was, because I remember we spoke about it briefly on the podcast and we thought that other countries would follow, but nothing's been discussed further on it.
Is graffiti art just as worthy as classical paintings?
Obviously depends on the graffiti. If you were to go to Brighton, there's like those walls down the lanes. For people that don't know what Brighton is and the lanes, Brighton's a city and the lanes are like these really cool roads of vintage shops and stuff, and they have loads of graffiti and loads of like that graffiti is art to me. It's
I
think they're very talented, but I think the only problem people have with graffiti is that sometimes it isn't like consented. So like it's vandalism in some respect because they don't want that on their walls. They don't want that on their property that they're paying for. And obviously some graffiti is awful and it isn't a form of art, and it is literally just looks terrible. Like when you're sometimes in the London Underground and they've just written horrible words on the wall, like that's not graffiti, that's not art, that's not, do you know what I mean?
Yes. My argument against that is there are some forms of painting where you walk into the gallery and it's just like a red square with nothing in it. And how is that any different than someone who's just scribbled on a wall nonsense? And that painting is going for millions of pounds, and some artist that thinks they're clever has just painted a no effort like red square on a canvas.
I have seen some graffiti styled canvas paintings, like
Yes.
done by an artist, where literally the background is like graffitied with like spray paint, and then at the front of it, so like over top of it, there's like characters that they painted. Like I've seen like a Mickey Mouse or
that's in Chichester.
a Tigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool. That's obviously genuine art. They pay it's very expensive.
They were expensive as
very
well.
expensive, but very cool. And I do think it's there's a lot of graffiti that is very talented.
The art industry is snobby as fuck. I think that's half the problem.
Yeah, it's always snobby in movies as well. Like you see like someone showing someone around an art gallery and they're always very like, oh, look at this one. Like, yeah.
I know. It's so base, so raw. That sort of shit. They say
Yeah.
bollocks like that. And
The
you're right.
aura.
Also,
wow.
and also the thing that pisses me off is like, for example, the only graffiti art that is in any way respected at the moment is Banksy's. He is the only name in graffiti that people give a shit about, and it's
also,
annoying
I think it's because of the mystery as well with him, because no one ever fucking sees him. He manages to do these really cool pieces of art late at night. No one sees him. He puts up this whole like fucking. Have you seen like that whole white construction thing that he stands in?
Great rumours as to who it could be.
Really?
I've heard one.
Oh my
rumour.
god. Art Attack. The
Yes.
guy, Mr. Maker. Is
Steve
it Mr. Maker?
Buchanan?
Yeah, I can't remember who it is.
Or
One
something
of those.
like that. The guy from Art Attack. Yeah, rumour that it's him. I'd love it if it was
That'd
him.
be great.
Another rumour I've heard is the lead singer of Blur, who also is the man behind the Gorillaz. There's a rumour that it could be him as well, which I think could be an interesting one. I'm just very intrigued.
I wonder if it's one of those things we'll ever find out, or if it'll just stay a mystery.
But it's also like in Chichester, there's those odd bits of graffiti art around that look beautiful.
Yeah, like near
the two stick men.
Yes, the two stick men. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Down by near that new Trading Post cafe down there's that little cat, the little multicoloured cat, and then a couple mice following it. Yeah. Which is really
and
cool.
that's been there a while, so it's kind of like one of those. I think that's the thing. Like it stays. Like do you know the wall that I'm talking about in Brighton? Yeah, I've taken a couple of photos there because it looks really cool. And sometimes I have seen people like add to it, and like it has changed, but in majority it stays the same.
Yeah, and I think
it adds a bit of colour as well. I think it can.
Do you want every city to be grey and dull and boring, or do you want some awesome colour?
Yeah,
like,
as long as it is like reasonable, it's not naughty, crude, or rude, then I think it's fine.
Here's one. Here's a big one. Parents should be able to choose the sex of their child.
I don't know how you would choose the sex of your child.
Yeah, well, if for example, if the technology were available, or you could just like abort and then try again straight away.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that. Should parents be able to choose the sex of their child?
So what if we're talking, so like let's say in like 25 years or so when technology's advanced and there's some sort of pill that you can take to like increase the chance of having a boy or a girl.
Tomorrow morning, we wake up, breaking news, BBC News, new pill the pregnant woman takes and it determines the sex of their baby. Blue pill for boys, because sexism, and pink pill for girls. So this is what's happening. This is the world tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't understand how that would actually physically work. I mean, obviously, it probably would be a hormone thing, I'd assume.
It would.
I feel like there'll be some people that'll be like so for it.
Yeah.
And there'll be some people like so against it.
I can see some very strong feminists being like, "Oh yes, we've got to all have girls." Sort of thing.
Really? Do you think?
Yeah. You definitely get some strong feminists out there that are like hate men, and they'll be like, "Yeah, no more boys. We've got to all have girls," sort of thing. Right. I saw a post once of this strong feminist woman saying that if she ever had a boy, she would make sure that he's circumcised so he wouldn't have any as much pleasure from sex.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's cool. Like it's a cool concept.
But also, on the flip side, I reckon there would be some dads out there that would be like, I want to make sure that I have sons to continue the family name. And so they would be all for making sure the mum takes the blue pill, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like that situation would definitely cause more arguments because obviously we've had the discussion where we're just like, oh, if we have a girl, what would we call it? If we have a boy, what would we call it? But if it came to a situation where we could actually decide on the gender, that's a whole different kettle of fish that you've got to discuss. Like, talking about names is one thing, but then actually being able to pick which one you have and then having to agree on that or not agreeing on it, I just feel like it's kind of luck of the draw now, and it's safe with how it is. And if we introduce that kind of situation, there'll be a lot of I don't know.
It is inherently sexist because you are showing a preference over a certain gender. But also in the way the world that we are at the moment, with all, the people saying that, we shouldn't care about gender, we shouldn't blah, 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 things like that, then the pill doesn't matter, surely.
Well, no, they wouldn't matter, because what happens if, for example, you were someone that really wanted a girl, you had a girl, you took the girl pill, and then that girl grows up and doesn't feel like they are a girl, and they turn into a boy. That situation happens.
All of your effort is wasted.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't feel like it should be a thing.
No.
I can understand why someone would think it'd be a cool concept, but I just feel like it would just cause more harm than good.
It could definitely be abused in some way. Because imagine, for example, a horrible man slipping that pill behind the wife's back to make sure that, like, she has a certain sex.
What, you mean, like, accidentally put it in a morning coffin?
Put it in a drink or something like that, yeah. Like, I want me a boy.
But then, like, it just becomes like a rivalry, doesn't it? Like, between the husband and the wife. Like, the husband wants a boy and the wife wants a girl, or vice versa. So
I would be happy with
I wonder what would happen if you took both pills.
They just cancel each other. Well, they're non-existent pills, so we don't know what the side effects are.
But, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Would it or if you're having twins and you could take a boy and a girl twin, would that work? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I would like a pill that would make sure that I would love twins. So I would make. So you don't want a gendered pill now. You just want a pill that would give you more than one child. Yes, yeah. Which I don't think that one's as bad.
It's not as bad because probably.
In fact, you're bringing more life into the world.
But as for a man, for you to be saying that when you don't carry.
Good point. Yeah, obviously I would need the thorough consent from.
Yeah, don't put a twin pill in my morning coffee, please.
Yeah, no, I won't. But yeah, I would. I would be happy with either a boy or a girl, but there is like an order that I would like them in.
Right.
If we're gonna chat about this, my perfect. So later on in life, say I'm 35, trying to have some kids, right?
Right.
The kids that I would want a daughter first.
Right.
And then some twin boys.
Right.
I think would be cool.
Interesting.
I think that'd be a cool thing. Maybe 2 years between the girl and the twin boys.
Wow.
That's what I'd like.
Nice.
What about you?
I've always actually wanted a boy first.
Boy first.
Because I've never had a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up actually with a lot of friends that had older brothers. Mm. Like, actually, I think about it, all of my friends bar one has an older brother.
Okay.
And then the bar one person has an older sister, and I am the oldest of all of my sisters. So I am the oldest. So I've always wanted, if I was to have an older sibling, it would be nice if it was a boy,
Okay. Older brother, twin girls then. How about that?
I don't think I want twins, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. Also, the thing is as well, if we were, for example, having twins, I would want the other sibling to be the other gender, because I would not, for example, to want to have a pair of twin girls and have another girl sibling who's going to constantly feel left out.
Fucking hell. I mean, James, at the end of the day, we would be very lucky to have kids.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't actually care about the logistics of my kid feeling left out because they were in the womb together and they shared that experience and she came out 2 years prior. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I want my theoretical kids to be happy.
Yeah, everyone can live in dreamland and and imagine it. But realistically, I'm not actually too bothered what order or what gender or anything. I just think it'll be amazing.
We're going to do one more quick one, and then we're going to get on to courting with James. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, so the final one is: dance and gaming should be considered a sport.
I agree with that. I think I thought dance was already considered a sport.
Well, and also gaming was going to be part of the Japanese Olympics.
Why wasn't it?
I think it was. Oh, the snobby Olympic Committee said that they would do, to try and include it but not, they would do Olympic gaming events, but none of the contestants, they wouldn't be medalled events. So you couldn't get medals from it. It was just sort of, you're part of the Olympics, but also not.
Some people are so good at, like, actual games, though.
It's if you think about the fact that fucking darts is on TV. Darts is a sport, and it's just throwing it at a thing. Why is gaming not any difficult than that?
And dance is incredible. Like, I'm sorry, Strictly Come Dancing, the dancers that are on there, how is that not considered a sport already? You can like win medals and fucking shit from doing that.
And if you think about the applications of, for example, gaming, things like you need precision, you need hand-eye coordination. You got things like air traffic controllers, people in the army, they need skills like that.
So we've been going out for 2.5 years, and how crap was I at Fortnite when we first got together? I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty bloody good now.
Loads better now. Yeah, you get your odd share of victory royales.
Yeah, get some fucking fantastic headshot kills.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they should be classed as sports.
Yeah, I don't see it doesn't cause any harm.
Yeah, exactly.
At all.
Yeah, archery is a sport. All that is, it's basically the same, just outside. You're using your hands to try and hit a target.
I guess what I mean with the gaming, it's lower effort than like running or swimming, because it's just using your hands and stuff.
Lot of other sports. Yeah. But there are sports that I would argue are the equivalent of effort, like darts and archery, for example. Yeah, true. So yeah, I agree. My
most scariest sport is javelin. When I used to do that at school, I would throw the javelin and duck because I was scared it was going to fly back into my face. Genuinely. It terrifies me.
Fair. Yeah. Fair enough.
Thought I'd share that with you.
So after that, we hope you guys enjoyed those debates. We are going to put them on our Insta stories to see what other people think. But now we're going to move on to some Courting with James. We know you guys have missed it. So we've got some great ones coming up after this.
Hello, we're back.
Thanks again to Amy Montague and Sam Pearce for the lovely Courting with James jingle, as always.
Courting with James, as always.
Yep. So I've got some juicy stories.
Got some juicy ones.
Let's start with the first one. This woman is 24, female, and her sister is 18, female. Yep. My sister is engaged to my ex, 32, male. It gets worse.
Oh my god! Wait, so this girl's 18 and she's engaged to a 32-year-old man.
Yep.
Which is the ex of her 24-year-old sister.
Yep, and it gets worse.
And it gets worse.
My father encouraged the relationship to spite me and my mother.
What? How does it spite?
How
does it spite her and her mum?
We're going to find out, aren't we? Hi, everyone. This is a little complicated. I'm 24. My parents, 44 and 51, divorced when I was 14.
Ah, they're divorced, okay.
My dad was having an affair. I caught him with the other woman and told my mum about it. He's hated my mum and me ever since.
Right.
My sister was 7 at the time of the divorce, and he started using her as a pawn. He'd tell her lies.
As a what?
As a pawn, as like someone you control.
Oh.
He'd tell her.
I haven't heard that before.
It's a phrase. It's based on the chess piece. Like the pawn is the easiest piece on the chessboard to control and move around.
I heard someone say like Muppet or puppet.
Yeah, puppet works as well. Using her as a puppet. There you go. He'd tell her lies about me and my mum so she wouldn't want to live with my mum. He told my sister me and my mum were going to throw away all her toys. He got her a dog and told her if she stayed over my mum's house, nobody would feed the dog and it would starve. So because of this, my sister has wanted to live with my dad since they divorced, and her relationship with me and my mum is pretty strained. When I was 16, I started dating a guy who was 24. I was with him for 3 years. I finally left him after he put me in the emergency room for the 3rd time.
Jesus Christ.
I just left with my car and the clothes I had on in the ER. I left everything else and drove back to my mum's house. Now my sister announced on social media she's engaged to him. My mum called my sister furious. She said she's been dating him for over a year now. My father knew about the relationship and encouraged it. She told my mum she was 18 now. It was too late and she couldn't do anything about it. She's only been 18 for 2 weeks.
So she was dating him. Oh my God. She was 17. Fucking hell.
My mother talked to my father, who basically said for me and my mum to F off, that he doesn't blame Alexander for putting me in the hospital and hopes he does it again if I don't shut up.
Oh my God, he's actually vile.
My dad admitted to purposely not telling my mum about my sister dating him, to keeping in contact with him and letting him stay over the house with my sister alone for years. He's allowing 4 years. So she must have been 16 or something at this point.
Fucking hell.
He's allowing all of this just to spite me and my mum. Is there any talking sense into either of them?
Okay, one, that poor girl, the 18-year-old girl, she's clearly like brainwashed by her dad.
Groomed by this guy.
By this older guy. The older guy is closer to her dad's. Oh, it actually makes me feel gross because that is just... And also, why would the dad accept that? Just to spike his mum, the woman that he cheated on. His ex-wife.
He's the one that,
and his daughter. He's just a horrible, horrible person.
Yep. Someone said, I would explain to my sister what happened between my ex and I, even if she ignores the message just to clear my own conscience.
Yeah.
Then I would go non-contact with her and your dad. And she replied and said, I guess I should have mentioned that. She knows what happened.
Oh.
So she knows that he beat her up 3 times.
I do think this girl is so... I don't actually believe... it's her fault, if I'm honest. I do think that she has been groomed and manipulated into this situation, and she is still young. She is 18. She's an adult. She can make those decisions. But if this has been happening since she was 7, and that she's been living with her dad and hearing all this stuff from her dad, brainwashed against her mum and her sister, and then this 32-year-old man comes in and is backing up her dad, it's just
It's weird, isn't it?
Gosh.
I suggest the sister that is 24, I suggest you, text your sister and tell her the whole details.
Yeah.
Tell her the truth as much as you can and then just go no contact. That's all you can do, really.
Yeah, try and move on with your life as best as possible. I mean, it's going to be hard because that is not a nice situation at all.
This next one...
It's so sad how people have so much horrible drama with their families.
This next one could be juicier.
Really? Juicier than that?
Could be, yeah.
Fucking hell.
My wife deleted a message from my ex telling me that she was pregnant 5 years ago.
Sorry, oh my God. I try to think about me doing these things and I just can't.
Yeah.
How could someone do that?
Well, we're about to hear how, hopefully. So the guy has said, it's been almost 2 weeks since I found out. We've done the tests and she's mine. My ex had sent me a message a couple weeks before giving birth, telling me about everything. My then girlfriend and present wife saw that my ex sent me a message and deleted it, then blocked her, apparently without reading it. Ex took that as me not wanting to be involved and raised our daughter all alone for 5 years. My daughter is turning 5 in a month and I haven't even met her. Every time I think about how much I missed out on, I just lose it. I know I must focus on what I've gained instead of what I've lost, but damn, it's hard. It's taken me 2 hours just to write this out. Don't even want to start on what my ex had to go through alone and the desperation to reach out to my mother for help when she hates her nearly more than me. My wife says she's remorseful, that she was just very immature at the time and didn't think it could be that important. So much so, she forgot about it. I've never loved anyone more than my wife. She supported me through so much. I believe that she's actually feels bad and regrets it. She's pregnant, plus 20 weeks pregnant with our first child together. We're currently separated while I deal with everything, but I don't know how we'll move forward after this.
I don't even know what to say.
There's an edit that said, to further elaborate, I found out through my mother, who was contacted by my ex about my daughter and how I ghosted her. I was talking to my wife about this and she confessed about deleting it and blocking it. Someone's asked, how did you find out? And obviously he said the mother, because apparently the ex asked the mum for some cash for the daughter. And then the mum rang the boyfriend and said that he's being a deadbeat for not supporting the child. Can you imagine your own mum ringing you up being like, you're a deadbeat, why are you not supporting this kid? And you're like, I had no fucking idea I had one.
Oh my gosh.
There is an update.
And he also said in that his mum doesn't even like her ex. So, like he said, it must have been really hard for her to reach out to her.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, because at first when you started reading that, before you said the kid's been alive for 5 years, I thought maybe he cheated.
But clearly he didn't.
It was before, so yeah.
Yeah, that's mental. But we've got an update.
Yep.
The guy said, got some messages asking for updates. So here you go. Long story short, I met with my ex last week just to properly explain myself and discuss the whole what nows. It didn't end up being productive and mostly filled with awkward silence with a few miniature arguments. Towards the end, she said that she'd been talking to a lawyer and didn't want me to be involved and would be seeking full custody of our daughter with no visitation, as well as suing me for back child support and getting me on child support now. So that was fun. To be clear, I was always going to provide more than my fair share for any child of mine. I really don't know how any of this works, but I haven't received anything from the court or something, so it could have just been a threat, but she seemed serious. Regardless, I decided to find myself a lawyer to help me instead of waiting around, and eventually got linked with an old friend's brother whom I'm meeting tomorrow, which is great. So that's what's happening with the
Fucking
ex.
hell, that's such a shame. And that's like all the wife's fault, basically.
It's annoying that he met up to hash things out and she's gotten so
he seems like such a good
about
guy because he was like, he feels awful that he's missed out on this kid for this kid for 5 years. He had no idea. He's trying to sort it all out, and this woman's now turning around going, no, fuck you. I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, we've got an update regarding his wife.
Right.
My wife and I are trying to work things out. Due to the lawyer/court situation, financially speaking, we couldn't get an actual therapist, but my wife's pastor, so they're religious, offered to provide marriage counselling for us. We only had 2 sessions before the family drama broke out and we temporarily put counselling on pause. Basically, the thing about my wife deleting the message leaked out to the rest of the family, which has led my wife getting uncivil messages from a couple family members.
Not surprised.
My lovely older sister also decided to add to the fire by posting about this on her Facebook. My wife has locked herself at home since and is taking everything quite badly, since even her friends now know and have distanced themselves from her. I'm actually quite worried about it, but at least her mum is there with her and I try to check on her regularly. It's all just overwhelming. When I'm not thinking about my daughter, I'm thinking about my ex. When I'm not thinking about my ex, I'm thinking about my family drama, and when I'm not thinking about that, I'm thinking about my marriage and the pregnancy. And there's still work, so it's been a really terrible week. Finding it hard to maintain optimism and excitement for my daughter when all this has happened. Just a shit situation all around.
Bloody hell, it is a shit situation all
Someone
around.
also pointed out, which is quite rightly, they said it's been 5 years. The woman, obviously the mother of this 5-year-old child, sent a message that got deleted. Why didn't she try harder? So she sent one message and that was the only attempt that she made.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. That we don't need to point fingers at her right now. I don't think that's the issue. She sent a message to the dad, and as far as she is concerned, he's deleted it, and that's his way of saying he's not interested. She doesn't really probably want to try again anymore. So fair play to her. You know, I think most people would have done the same thing. Yeah, maybe some people would have tried a little bit harder, but you know, someone's deleted a message and not replied to you when you've got a kid. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, I do get that. I do get that.
The wife
is in the wrong.
Is so in the wrong.
But
and
the family fucking drama. I hate people that air their dirty laundry on bloody Facebook.
She should not have put it on Facebook. I do feel bad for the wife because obviously everyone's turned against her. But also at the same time, she's done a very nasty thing. She obviously wasn't thinking straight when she did it. And she probably definitely feels really, really bad now everyone's against her. But it's not fair because this man is now trying to pick up all the pieces. He's trying to sort out his wife and his pregnancy. He's obviously trying to sort out his other kid that he had 5 years ago. His ex is trying to sue him. Like, he is not having a good... He's stuck in the fucking middle.
I know. Bloody... Feel for this man.
I feel so bad for him.
If you're listening right now, we feel for you. We send you love and we send you hugs and we hope that you get through.
Do you ever comment on these and be like, thanks for the story, mate. We spoke about it on the recent episode of Court Case.
There was a couple where I said that, but no one replied. But
yeah, I think I don't. To be fair, sometimes when we talk about this, I don't actually want them to listen to it because it's not art. I don't know.
It's a shot in the dark that they would do anyway. But if you are listening, we do feel for you. And that's our show today, guys. I hope you enjoyed those juicy Courting with James stories. And I hope you guys have some strong opinions about the debates that we discussed today. Yeah. How do you feel about it, T? Yeah, I feel like we got down and dirty with some proper debate. Quite a talkative episode, I think. Yeah. So, guys, we hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we want all of our audience to wish Sweet Tea good luck with her training for her new career, because I'm extremely proud of her and I know that she's going to do amazing. I'll be like... when this comes out, probably like a week and a bit into it, I think. I don't know. I can't work out the calendar dates yet. Yeah, but we all are wishing you really good luck and we're extremely proud of you. Change is scary, guys, but if I can do it, you can do it. Yeah. So we will see you next week, guys. Bye. Bye-bye.